Video, and today we're going to talk about how we did our trip to Disney World this past spring. And we're both college students, so we're going to tell you about how we did it basically on a college budget. And then if you're new to this channel, welcome. I'm Allison.
I'm Travis.
And we're the Falcon couple. So we're going to start off and talk to you about how we planned it all out, because definitely for Disney, you're going to need to plan everything. It's not something you can do last minute, although it kind of is possible, but it's gonna cause so much less stress if you plan it out. And a lot of these are like kind of how we just budgeted basically.
So we should start with the pre-planning, everything you need to know about going into Disney beforehand.
So basically, one of the things that I highly recommend, and I think that really helped save us a lot of money, was every time that we shop for groceries every single weekend. So we'd make like basically a 1 day a week trip to the grocery store. We would get a Disney gift card, and those were like $25 each.
Yes, and the reason we would do that is basically if you aren't good at budgeting money, it's a good way to just put money aside, because the Disney gift cards can be used anywhere in the parks or in the restaurants on site or at Disney Springs.
And also, too, part of this money was money that we earned through our jobs. And we both work part time at school, although we don't get paid a lot because minimum wage is kind of really low where we go to school. It still helped contribute to our Disney World saving.
It did.
And then another thing that I believe is a good money saving tip is if you can find a credit card or some type of card that allows you to be able to earn Sky Miles or points. So basically, you can earn points towards like a check-in bag and basically kind of like a free flight. Consider like if it's a credit card thing, it's something good to consider as a college student. So you're gonna need to build up your credit anyway, and what better way to be able to do that and be able to earn points basically for traveling, because it's really hard to travel as a college student.
Yeah, if you have the means to get a credit card, if you feel comfortable getting one, most cards have Sky Miles, or they have some sort of point system they can use later on that could benefit you with the trip.
And these are just our suggestions. I mean, you don't have to do what we do, but it's just what we thought were good tips and ways on how we were able to do this trip successfully.
Yeah.
And then something else that I was recommended looking at was checking the deals on the Disney website. Because what ended up happening was we were originally going to stay at the All-Star Music Resort. And I was able to find a deal that to be able to stay at Deluxe Resort, it was 30% off the room. So it was basically about the money that I was already going to pay for that Valley Resort. And Travis and I were kind of thinking, even though Valley Resorts are great and a great way to save money, especially if you're not going to be in the hotel much, which we weren't really in the hotel anyway, but we just kind of wanted kind of our own space, and just the whole atmosphere of the hotel ended up being where there wasn't a lot of families there anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So there was less kids, and it just kind of made it feel a bit more relaxing. I don't know, just kind of more adult.
Yeah, find the hotel that best works for you based on the style of it and the price. If the amenities aren't a big issue for you, and you're just planning, you just need somewhere to stay in one of the Valley Resorts. If you want something with a little more spice to it, stay at one of the more higher end resorts.
And just to backtrack a little bit, which I probably should have started off this video by saying, to take this what we ended up doing for planning for Disney changed multiple times. Like originally we weren't even going to go to Disney World. I think we were going to go to like Discovery Cove for like a day or something and just stay one night in Orlando. But then we started kind of looking at the prices and realized that Disney was doable for what we did.
Yeah, we made it work.
And then also, this is kind of one last two money saving. We did, people, even people that aren't college students, they kind of look and decide, do I need a meal plan? And basically what we found out from researching it is that if you're not going to get the most expensive thing on the menu, don't do the food plan.
And we also figured that Sometimes meal carts are, you can get about as much food for usually a little bit lower price rather than compared to a sit down restaurant. So, and if you're looking for somewhere that's quicker, that's gonna benefit you a lot more.
Yeah, because, and we'll talk about this a little bit later, how some meals we didn't even actually go for really a meal. We kind of just end up snacking throughout the day, and it probably saved us a lot of money right there.
It did.
And then last thing that that's kind of more of a money saving tip, you have to kind of decide whether to stay on property or off property, and that's like the big question probably everyone has. And I know we were looking at prices and we thought basically for what it kind of offered already on the resort, like the complimentary transportation from the airport, you got to pick out your fast passes 60 days in advance, got to do dining reservations 120 days in advance. We just thought that that was kind of a better deal for us, and plus it kind of had the convenience of all the hotels have like the amenities of like a pool, and of course, which most hotels do, but and also too it had the where it's kind of convenient to go and get a quick service meal in the hotel. And then one thing that's totally optional, but I got this because I'm not very good at taking pictures on vacation, and I do think for the price it was well worth it, but definitely an extra cost that you definitely do not need to do. You can just take pictures on your phone, but I didn't have like the phone that I have now. I think has a lot better camera, and the phone that I had then did not have a good camera. So I just kind of wanted something that were pictures that looked more professional. And so we ended up getting Memory Maker. And then something else that we did was to kind of plan it out was because we didn't really know what restaurants to do, and it's kind of nice to kind of have like already a set plan, especially because you make those dining reservations 120 days in advance, and we want at least one sit down place each night. So we ended up looking at videos and blogs about Disney food to figure out what places for food that we needed.
Probably the best thing you could do for yourself before going to Disney is to do a lot of research, watch a lot of videos, read a lot of blog posts, and just get as much information as you can find before you make your decision.
I for sure agree with that. I think that's really important. All right, so now we're on to the vacation part of the video.
Yes.
And we'll put some video and pictures of our vacation in throughout the video so you guys can enjoy that.
On the first day, we went to Epcot in the day. We flew in the early morning, and we got to Orlando at about noon, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So we still had a lot of time for rides.
And one of the nice things that the hotel provides for us is complimentary transportation from the resort, from the airport to the resort, which that's probably what you're paying for when it comes to the hotel fee, but it comes with the price of it, which is really nice.
Yeah. So after we checked into our hotel, we were able to go right from the hotel to the park.
And our room wasn't quite ready yet. So Disney has this service called Bell Services where basically you can just leave your luggage with them and they'll actually put it in your room for you, which is really nice because that hotel was huge.
Yeah.
And we stayed at the Coronado Springs Resort. And it's nice because it's cheap and it's in the moderate category because there's 3 categories. There's the value, moderate, and deluxe. And it had basically the amenities of a deluxe resort because that resort is actually for convention guests when they come to Disney.
So our first ride that we did is once we got there, we did Soarin'. What was your opinion on that one?
I really liked that ride, and I went to Disney actually when I was 10. And I went there when I was 6, so that was one of the rides I remember really liking for Epcot. And this was actually Travis's first time to Disney World,
Yeah.
so he was experiencing everything for the first time.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I just think it's such a cool ride.
It's a fun introduction ride to Epcot because Epcot is sort of a 3D, 4D experience simulator park. That is a good way to get your feet wet if you're looking for an easy, fun first ride.
And two, I feel like Epcot kind of It's almost like it's kind of like about the world, because they
Yeah.
have the World Showcase, and I feel like that ride kind of, we're flying over Africa, and we were flying over San Francisco, and I just think that was really cool.
It was really fun. The other big ride that we did was the Mission Space. Now that is
that was so bad.
Mission Space is basically like a space flight simulator, and there's two different categories. There's green and orange. Green is more the easy, orange is the harder one, and it's harder because it's more on your body. It is very much like the simulators that astronauts use. So you're put into this pod and it's moving around. You're hitting multiple G forces. Uh, if you don't have a strong stomach, I probably don't do either. If you're going to do one of them, do the green. If you can
And
handle
if you
it.
have motion sickness, listen to the warnings.
Yeah.
Do not go on the ride.
There's about a dozen warnings that if you are afraid of getting motion sick or have any issues with high intensity rides, the green is easier, the orange is much harder. We did the orange. It was it's a lot on your body.
It is. I think I didn't know how I was going to react because this was like me coming back 10 years later, and I did orange and I was fine when I was doing it when I was younger. But, I think when you get older, you might start to develop motion sickness. So that was probably the worst thing. The worst thing ever. I had regrets. I probably would do the green team over again. Otherwise, I don't know if I'd go back to that ride. Honestly, I feel like it's kind of
it's a very fun ride. If it's a great experience, but yeah, it's hard. The orange is hard on your body. If you're just looking for the ride itself, do the green. It's much easier and much more body friendly.
Right, and maybe I'll try that next time if we get to go to Disney.
Yeah.
And then so that made our next experience probably not the best it could be because I definitely overpacked the amount of stuff that we were going to do day one. So we were rushing all the way from that fast pass to go to our dinner reservation all the way at the Italy Pavilion, which was quite a ways. I think we ended up jogging part of the way there.
Yeah. Before when you're planning out your day, look at where your fast passes are and look at where any dinner reservations are. You want to plan everything out so that you have enough time to get to your reservations or have enough time for your fast pass.
Because some of those restaurants will charge a late fee if you don't show up, and sometimes they may not let you go in, if you arrive late, so just be very cautious of that. But I really loved Via Napoli. And I'm not kidding about this, not exaggerating, it was the best pizza I've ever had.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that's because the people that are in those countries, the cast members, are from the actual country. So they had people that were actually from Italy cooking the food. And I think we ended up just getting pizza, and then we got pasta to share. And I think we had bread with it.
Yeah, it was really good. I enjoyed all of it.
Really good service. They were pretty quick, and our waitress was pretty nice too.
Yeah, she was.
Making sure that we were all good.
Yep.
And then so we were going to go on Test Track next, but unfortunately we could not because it started to rain.
Yeah.
And then there was this other ride that we were going to go to inside the ball, the icon of Epcot, the Spaceship Earth, and we were not able to go on that one because it was closed, and that was our other fast pass. So the other two were fast passes, but we weren't able to go on that one, which Disney did actually try to reimburse us by giving another fast pass, but we were long gone by that time.
Yeah.
So now we'll talk about the after hours event that we did that evening.
Okay, so after hours at Disney is basically 3 hours in the park after the fireworks, after all of the ending ceremonies have ended and the main crowd has gone home. It's a limited ticket event where you get to go to the park. Pretty much all the rides are 5-10 minute waits. They They have like free snacks like dilly bars, popcorn. They'll have a lot of water and some pop available. That's all free. The cost for the
Well, not technically free, but it's included in the price. You don't have to pay extra for it.
it's all included in the ticket price. Now it does cost about the same as a normal day at Disney, but we found that we were only going to be able to go for 3 days and we wanted to hit all 4 parks. So this was a good way to just kind of jam that in there. So if you aren't constrained as much in your budget, but you are constrained by time, doing a after hours event is a good idea. So we did Hollywood Studios.
And the only way I think I would do an after hours event is like if I was feeling that time constraint. But also too, it was a good way to hit all the major rides and get as much as we wanted that done and have a low amount of wait.
Yeah. So at Hollywood Studios, so we did some of the newer stuff. This was before Galaxy's Edge was open, but we were able to do the Star Wars launch bay, check out the props, and meet some of the cast members. There was the Toy Story Land, and we got to explore that. That was pretty much brand new to the park. So we rode the Slinky Dog Dash.
I think that part of the park wasn't even a year old yet.
Yeah.
Like that's how new it was.
So yeah, we did the Slinky Dog Dash. We did
We got stuck on Toy Story Mania,
we did.
but before we went on a Toy Story Mania, we went to Woody's Lunchbox. I ended up getting this tater tot thing, and then Travis ended up getting this grown-up lemonade. And it was funny because he still ended up beating me at the Toy Story Mania ride.
I think I'm just a better
And
shot.
we got stuck at that ride.
Oh yeah, the ride got stuck about 3/4 of the way through, but I think I still got a better score than you.
You did.
I'm just a better shot.
I guess so. But that's a fun ride too if you're looking for just something fun and it's like you don't get like spun around or anything and it's just like a fun competitive ride.
It is. Yeah. So we also did Star Tours, and that was that's sort of the introduction ride that introduces you to what's now Galaxy's Edge. We rode that, and that had that was a fun experience. Pretty standard ride.
I think I would have enjoyed that ride more, and I think it's kind of like if I'm looking at a screen, it's kind of like flashing by me. I think it gives me a little bit of motion sickness, but I think since we rode Mission Space earlier in the day, it bothered me more than I think it would have.
Mm-hmm. So then we also rode the Rock and Roller Coaster, and we did Tower of Terror. Those are two classic. They're a little intense, especially the Tower of Terror. Little intense rides.
And I'm kind of the evil girlfriend that made him go on Tower of Terror, his first ever roller coaster ever, the one that takes off at 70 miles per hour and goes upside down. I was kind of evil and made him go on that first as his first roller coaster. So that was day 1. Now we're going to talk about day 2.
So day 2 was Animal Kingdom, and to begin that day, we ate in the hotel. If you're just looking for something quick, most hotels have like a cafeteria type
I think
service.
all hotels do.
Yeah, so that was nice. We were able to get on the bus and get to the park right around opening.
So we went on Expedition Everest next, and that's always been a favorite of mine. I liked it when I went on it when I was 10 years old. I still enjoyed liking it. I don't know, it's just like a really fun roller coaster.
Yeah, it's a good intro. It's another good intro roller coaster.
I would say it's less intense than definitely the Rock and Roller Coaster, but I think it's more intense than like the roller coasters at Magic Kingdom.
Yeah, it is.
And that was one of our fast passes. And then our second fast pass was to go on Kilimanjaro safaris, and we had a really good safari for that day.
Yeah, it was nice out. A lot of the animals are out. That is a roll of the dice. Even if you have a nice day and it's sunny, that doesn't guarantee all the animals would be out.
Yeah, because some people ride it after it just rained and all the animals would be out. Sometimes you go during the night and you're going to see animals that you don't see during the day.
Mm-hmm.
So really, it's a different ride each time you ride it.
It is.
And I think I like Animal Kingdom. I think it's way better than a zoo. I don't know. All the animals just seem like they're more free,
Mm-hmm.
almost. Like, because they got a lot more area to work with.
Yes, it is.
They're not, like, all in cages. And I
Yeah,
think it was a
the
nice way to see the animals.
The safari is much more open than a regular zoo is. It's almost like you're riding into an African safari. You're in their environment rather than looking at them through a chain link fence or behind some glass.
Yeah, and all the animals seemed like they were, like, very happy and kind of like they were in their natural environment,
Yeah.
which was
Yeah.
really nice to
They're
see.
well taken care of.
Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
And I know Disney also works with animals that are being hunted or going as distinction to kind of do something for that cause, which is really nice.
It is.
And then basically what we did for lunch was we kind of just ate at different like snacks throughout the park.
Yeah, we found that it was a lot quicker for us to eat. Rather than go to a sit-down restaurant, we found there's a bunch, especially at Animal Kingdom and Magic Kingdom, there's a lot of snack carts, different kinds. You'll be able to find pretty much everybody will be able to find something that they like there.
I remember one of the snacks that we got, and it was like a macaroni and cheese. And I think I got like sriracha shrimp macaroni and cheese, and it was really good.
Yeah, it was.
They have some pretty good snack foods there.
They do.
That are more like meals, but they're snacks.
Yeah. So after we ate, we went into Avatar Land. So that's a big section of the park, and it's based off the movie Avatar. So the two main rides, Flight of Passage and the Navi River Journey, are both amazing. Flight of Passage is the simulator ride that you've probably heard of. If you haven't, go look it up. But it is, if you're going to get a fast pass, if you're going to do fast passes for Animal Kingdom, get one for that.
If you're not going to get it for anything else, get it for that ride because it's going to be a long wait. It's one of their most popular rides at property, and it turned out to be my favorite ride.
Yeah, it was one of the most fun rides there is.
I remember when Travis and the ride ended, and Travis was like, I didn't want it to be over because it was just so fun.
It was awesome. So, and then for dinner, we ate at the Yak and Yeti. That was really good. I would highly recommend eating there. We did a couple other rides. So that day we were able to really space out our tickets.
Yeah, we actually kind of didn't seem like we had like more time than we knew what to do with, so we ended up going on Dinosaur, which that's the one that like you're trying to find like the dinosaur that's about to go extinct or whatever. That's the story behind it, and you're in a rover like Jeep thing, and that one's always really cool.
Yeah, that was fun. Okay.
And then it's Tough to Be a Bug. Bug is always a really good one because it's a 3D show and it's just like the Bug's Life movie, and it's funny because they have so many different like sensations that you can like feel throughout the show. Some of them kind of creeped him out, but yeah. it was really fun. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was fun.
So since we had so much free time, we ended up spending that in Downtown Disney, which it was not Downtown Disney. I'm sorry. It's called Disney Springs. Back when I was 10 years old, it was called Downtown Disney.
There's a lot of shops there. There's a lot of food. We went to the poutine station. We got chicken from
Chicken Guy.
We got chicken from Chicken Guy.
And that has like all the sauces you can think of.
Yeah, it has a lot of different sauces. We got gelato. We went to the giant
Disney store.
We went to the giant Disney store. It seemed like it had almost everything that you'd find in all of the different gift shops in the park. So you'll probably, when you're at the parks, you'll see a lot of stuff that you'll see at the giant Disney shop. And one nice thing about Disney Springs and really all the different gift shops as a whole is at Disney Springs and the parks is that if you can't bring something back with you, if it's like fragile or it's not allowed on the airplane, Disney will be able to mail that to you, or if you're sending it to a family member, you can mail stuff when you buy it there.
I ended up getting my younger brother a coffee mug, and I didn't want it to break because I've seen the way the airport people handle bags. They just throw the suitcase on the airplane and don't really care about it. So I ended up taking that mug and ended up sending it to my brother, and I got there no problem. All right, guys. So, we were able to use Bell services again, and we were able to keep our bags, even though we had to check out of the hotel. They were able to hang on to those bags for us, which was really nice. We didn't have to ever rent a locker for the parks.
Yeah. So long as you are with the park, whether it's you're checked into a hotel or you're at a park, you can store your bags there during the day. So we left Disney in the evening, but we checked out in the morning. So they held our bags all day for us for free. I don't know if it's still free service, but regardless, it's probably going to be better than having to check a locker.
And also too, it's nice because it allows you an extra time for the park, 'cause especially if you're gonna have a late flight back or you're still gonna be in Florida, it allows you more time in the park.
It did.
So, one thing that I highly recommend is getting breakfast in the park. We went to Be Our Guest, which is basically the Beast's castle that you get to like stay in. It kind of has like different dining rooms that are kind of themed to different scenes in the movie. And I don't know if I would say I would go there for like the food again. I think it's great if you're going there for like your first time just because of the atmosphere is really cool, but like I didn't think the food was all that great, but I will say that getting an early dining reservation, like allowing you to like get to go into the park early was a plus because we actually got to ride one of the most popular rides at Magic Kingdom twice.
Yeah, the food at Be Our Guest was good, but I don't think it was worth the price. So if you're there's plenty of other options for breakfast on in the parks, and yeah, the advantage is you get to go into the park early, and when you're done at breakfast, if you're still there before it opens, you can just go do the rides. That gave us time to go do the minecart ride, virtually no line, and then we also did it again later in the day with our fast pass.
Yeah, which that is a really fun roller coaster. It was brand new to me and I thought it was really fun and I thought it was all the animatronics in there were really cool. Time to be able to go on the fantasy land rides too, which
Those were a lot of fun. Yeah, we did quite a few
all
of
the
the classics.
classics.
Yep. And then so later on in the day, we were able to do the big ones. We did Splash Mountain. We were able to do Thunder Mountain. We did Pirates of the Caribbean, and we that day we also just did some cart. Went to some of the carts for food. We hold on. We went and got Dole Whip, and something we learned about Disney. This is a good.
This is a time saver tip.
Something we learned about Disney is that there is on the app you can pre-order your food, and there's a pickup window at a lot of the places. That way you can avoid the whole line and just go and grab your food. It's a lot quicker. It's you can so for example, we ordered some hot dogs and fries while we were on the other side of the park. We pulled the app, typed in our order, hit order, got there, and it was paid for because it's connected to your account, and you can just grab and go.
And so we were able to use all our fast passes for like the rides like Splash Mountain, Space Mountain, and the Mine Train, and we were able to snag a fourth fast pass. And you're allowed a fourth fast pass if you complete the first three. So we used that for Jungle Cruise later in the
Yep.
evening, and we did we did the Haunted Mansion.
Yeah, we did Haunted Mansion.
But the only thing is, by the time we got to that ride, we were just tired of standing in line. But it was still really fun.
Yeah, we were able to hit some gift shops. Then we were able to pack up and head out.
So we have some things that we probably will do differently next time we visit Disney.
So probably the best thing to do is to space out your park days. So on our first day, we had everything packed together, but that was also because we flew into Orlando on the same day as we uh, did Epcot. So if you're thinking about what your flight time is, if it's a long time and you're getting into the park at a later in the day, whether it's noon, 1, 2 o'clock, maybe decide to just do a little bit of the park or go to Disney Springs, take advantage of the amenities at your hotel. Don't necessarily pack everything into one day so you're rushing around. You want to be able to enjoy it.
Yeah, and Disney is the size of Manhattan, so also highly recommend really good tennis shoes, which we both had because I knew it was going to be a lot of walking, but I couldn't imagine it if we didn't have tennis shoes.
Mm-hmm.
And so I wish, yeah, we definitely had more space between the park days. And we did that because we wanted to save money, but it was a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And so that kind of like leads us into our second tip. Don't overplan the arrival day, because you don't know how tired you're going to be from traveling. Like, kind of make it more of like a loose plan. Like, if you are up to go in the parks, you can go to the parks. But if you're not up to it, you can have resting time at the hotel.
Yeah.
Or go to something that's like a little bit less activity, like go to downtown Disney for the night.
Mm-hmm. So we said take advantage of the amenities at your hotel if you have the time. We didn't, so that was lower on our priority list. So we didn't do everything at our hotel that we probably could have.
And I wish we would have checked out Disney Springs more because there's so much we didn't even walk and see. And just, I would like to try more of the food there. I would like to go look at more of the shops. Maybe even do some of the activities. Like now they have the NBA experience, which would be really cool to go see. And something that was also low on our priority list was doing the water parks, but I think it'd be cool to go check them out sometime.
It would. It was just not the right weather. It was rainy. It was just a little too rainy, a little too cold to do the water parks.
And that kind of made Splash Mountain probably not as fun as it could have been just because the weather wasn't warm enough. And also, too, we went during one of the renovation seasons, so one of the water parks was not open. I forgot which one. And the Kali River Rapids, which is one of my favorites, was not even there.
Yeah.
So, because that one was going for refurbishments. Alright guys, well that pretty much sums up the video.
So be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and we will see you next time.
Alright, bye guys!
Bye.